Homies, hoes, friends, and foes. Today, it is abundantly clear by now that I am Australian. Now, we'll get into that later, but, I keep seeing videos, and they just really grind my gears. Do you want to know why? These videos are of, I hate to say it, but Americans. Love ya, but you can't make the food right. And I've had enough. I have quite literally had enough. I am this close to ending it all. And, ladies and gentlemen, that's not a threat, that's a promise. Anyway, I keep seeing videos of foreigners, I'm gonna say foreigners, making and eating Australian foods, and it's honestly, it's a war crime. Today, I'm gonna be making Australian foods. Not exactly. I'm also going to be just eating them. Some of them you don't have to make, they can be store-bought. By the way, my review is paramount to anyone else's. Yup. Yeah. So, here I give you... Do I know what I'm doing? No. But will I still do it? Yes, I will. The answer is yes. For reference, my... Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. For reference, my entire area is in lockdown right now. And for another reference, I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer girl. If it's not obvious, by the Xbox. But yes, I am a gamer girl. I game. I'm really smashing those stereotypes, guys. So I am already inclined to be staying indoors. I have not seen the sun or touched grass in a very long time. But I don't like lockdown because that means that the rest of my family has to stay indoors with me. And I don't like people. I'm joking, I love my family. Mwah, mwah, mwah. My mother gave birth to me. My father didn't give birth to me, but he was there, okay? Both of my brothers, they exist. This is what it has come to. This is what the lockdown has pressured me into doing. Now, as you may know or may not, because I have never said this, I am an introvert. But with this new addition to my life of plastering myself on the internet, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's all a con. Maybe I'm just a figment of your imagination. Maybe you have to forget me. I'm not real. It wasn't your fault. You know what? I'm gonna get the food. Yeah. The first food that we have is shit with bread. This food is what many Australian would call a snag. Or, alternatively, a sausage sizzle. Now, what it is, it looks, oh god, it looks, okay. Yeah. It's a grilled sausage wrapped in a piece of bread. Preferably white bread, or if you want to be like a hippie or whatever, you can go with grain. You can choose to put lots of things on this. You can put onion, you can put cheese, you can put many different sauces, but I have decided to go with the very non-denominational choice, tomato sauce, not ketchup. Let's go ahead and eat this. Scrumptious. Tastes like meat and bread. It's fantastic. You can't even, there's like nothing even compares. You can't compare hot dogs to this, right? It's just better. A cultural statement in Australia. Bring a gold coin. Get yourself a sausage sizzle. Bob's your uncle. I would rate this 10 boomerangs out of 10 boomerangs. I'm gonna teach you how to make Vegemite toast. In this case, I do not have toast. I just have white bread because I just do. Alright, I forgot to toast it and I'm not going back inside. The ingredients you will need: butter. Now, this is technically not butter. This is margarine. The other thing you'll need: Vegemite. Good old Australian Vegemite. Contrary to popular belief, you do not eat Vegemite by the spoonful. It's not sweet, it's savoury. I don't know what they taught you in your country, but not every toast spread is sweet and made of sugar. If you're from the Britain, then you'll know this with Marmite. Let's not talk about the British, because let's be honest, I'm Australian. So start off with bread. You get the butter. Don't skimp on the butter. Alright, you're gonna need lots of butter. As I was saying before, I was really interrupted. Don't skimp on the butter. That is not necessary. You need a fuck ton of butter. And by a fuck ton, I mean, what's heavier, a kilogram of steel or a kilogram of feathers? You need to butter this bitch up, and I mean in every way, shape, and form. You don't want to taste the Vegemite, you want to taste the butter. So you just want to, you butter it. Butter the you have to sort of channel your inner convict ancestors. They'll let you know when enough is enough. And you're gonna grab your Vegemite. You're literally gonna take pea amount of Vegemite. Look at that. Micro-fucking-scopic. I'm gonna take a bit more, because I've done it, like, literally my entire life. You need to spread it evenly, because you don't want thick chunks. If you get thick chunks, you get just very disgusting pieces that you don't want to eat. It looks like a shit stain. By the way, for reference, this area is what you want. This is not what you want. You want cleanly distributed shit marks, not a big hunk. This is going to taste foul. It's going to taste foul. You have to spread it out evenly, alright? You kind of want to inbreed the Vegemite with the butter to get rid of hundreds of generations of culture and race. I do not condone racism. I have tons of friends who are Vegemite, but we need to get rid of it. It needs to assimilate with the butter. I'm gonna be taken down for this. It should look like baby shit. And it's healthier than eating deep-fried peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every morning. I'm looking at you, America. Now, before you eat this Australian delight, you must know. Please rise for the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth fertile.
Now, to finally the bread. To be clear, you don't want to leave little skid marks on the sides of your mouth, because that's what tends to happen. Now, it's actually detrimental to the fate of humanity, and also just mostly to yourself, that you get Vegemite right. Because then something like this will happen. Ooh, look at me. I'm just doing this. I'm making this Vegemite. Wow. I think I'm going pretty good personally. But, you know, to be completely honest, I don't really know what I'm doing. Don't go throwing away the butter yet. We're going to be making fairy bread. Rule for this: don't skimp. You want all of that. All of it on there. You're going to get a piece of bread. Margarine or butter. Again, this slab of bread should be filled to a T with copious amounts of butter. Don't give in. It should look a lot like this. You want it in all the corners, every crevice. You want to make sure you found that girl in the attic and you filled up that attic with butter, alright? You're gonna grab your hundreds and thousands. Sprinkles. Don't skimp. You're gonna be putting a lot of these on there. Just keep going. You just keep going. It may seem like a lot, but after you've got enough, you're just gonna wanna you're just gonna wanna pour it from side to side. All of this bread is to make it look like a gay pride parade. And to invite all the roaches with it. 'Cause they're coming out tonight. Tonight, roaches, you feast like kings. Now, it's important to remember that nothing else goes on this. Alright? It's just butter. It's just sprinkles. That's it. Alright? Sprinkle ASMR. Let's take a moment to remember our fallen comrades. I can still hear their screams. The next food on my list of foods to food is an Anzac biscuit. Since you guys love history so much, let's have a history lesson. Anzac stands for Australia, or Australian, New Zealand Army Corps. Yes, the people who went to Gallipoli. I have seen, count, two Americans disrespect the Anzac biscuit. It's actually quite hilarious how in-depth they went into how much they didn't like the Anzac biscuit. It's like they knew what they were doing. Now, the Anzacs were tragic. After 1901, Australia had just become a country. As we all know, World War I happened just a bit after that. A very large percentage of Australian men enlisted in the army in 1915, and the population in Australia around the time was, I think, 3 million if you don't include the Indigenous Australians. There's somewhere in the 400,000s, I'm gonna say. And most of them were really young men who were very, very excited to be fighting for Australia, who was literally only 14 years old. This was their first war. They were really overconfident, pretty good at what they did, but then they went to Gallipoli, and let's be honest, well, most of them didn't come back. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, okay? A lot of them didn't come back. Because, let's admit it, Gallipoli, a clusterfuck. These are a very vital piece of Australian culture, food-wise. The alleged story is that they were sent over to Anzac soldiers from their wives or their mothers or their sisters back here in Australia. Now, they're made out of, non-perishable ingredients, which means that they were very fit for long travel. That's why they're hard. Okay? Now, Australia isn't rationing anymore, nor is the entire world. It isn't the 1910s. So, we actually have better ingredients at our disposal. Ingredients that would have been harder to find, and just to buy in general. So, these biscuits are actually a lot better than they were. But, the history's there, okay? I like them. I find them very nice to eat. These biscuits may not be top quality to anyone who is an Australian, but you may have to just take the high road on this one, because, well, until you have to sit outside in the hot Australian sweltering summer sun for around 30 minutes straight, because it's Anzac Day, So we have to do an Anzac Day memorial service, and, well, you get sunburn, your friend gets heat stroke, and another one passes out, then you can tell me these cookies are shit. Every year someone passes out on Anzac Day. And if it isn't Anzac Day, it's Remembrance Day. Lest we forget, alright? Lest we forget. Tastes like home. I rate these biscuits 15 dead Australian soldiers on the shores of Gallipoli out of 10 dead Australian soldiers on the shores of Gallipoli. It tastes really Tim Tamery. It's a chocolate biscuit with chocolate coating. Or, get this, chocolate in the middle. Well, if I can decide on that, it's genius. 10 shrimps on the barbie out of 10. Next food. Okay, we're doing Milo. I don't really know if this is exactly Australian, but at this point, I would say yes. I don't care about the rest of the world. Everything revolves around me anyway. So the right way to do this is not what other Australians will tell you, but it is, because there are no other Australians, only me. Open the Milo. Throw that bitch away. From Milo, 2 cup, heat. Heaped spoonfuls. That seems about enough. You're gonna grab your milk. Just a little bit, okay? More Milo. And just a little bit more to top it off. And there you have it. Just... Cheers. Thanks for watching, and if you subscribe, subscribe, you get to contribute to my own personal turmoil. Isn't that a deal?